Welcome! Today we're looking into the history of medieval Europe without AI, apparently. Let's hope it's without AI. I've never checked the video. I already gave it a like, just in case. But like, let's go.
The medieval period in Europe
It's a man.
misunderstood
Fantastic.
as the Dark Ages because it takes
Oh yeah, the Dark Ages. By the way, I am no historian. I only know whatever the British government told me at the time of me doing GCSEs. After that, I couldn't do history anymore because I couldn't do A-level history, apparently. Not enough people, you know?
takes place after the fall of the sophisticated Roman civilization.
Yes, I do know this. Also, I'm like interested that like we classify modern history as like, 16th century onwards, basically. Like, I know there's the split of early modern, late modern, post-modern even at some point, but it's crazy that like you classified those basically 500 years of history as modern history, literally.
For our modern world. Well, the 1,000-year period in the Middle Ages, had a lot of developments. It wasn't all war, famine, plague, and rolling around in...
What? I've been told it's only war, famine, plague, and religion, and war, famine, plague, crusade, and sometimes exploration. Oh, okay. We're going to be learning today.
The mud. It was also a time of rebuilding, learning, invention, and exploration. But to understand the context of the medieval period, we have to take a look at the final years of the Roman Empire and the massive effect it had on what became the early medieval world. When the Roman Empire was at its peak in the
So this is Germany, this is whatever the Slavic people were doing, basically this is Africa. There's actually another history video that I'm interested in watching later, but like, whatever. So those are the regions, of the Roman Empire. This is like stuff that I do know. Those are like, Gallia is like, French people basically nowadays and stuff like that. But yeah.
2nd century AD, it dominated.
I know that Britannia was basically kicked out from Roman Empire like at the time of collapse because it was like, yeah, we don't need this land. It's too far away to administrate. There's nothing in there. We didn't need it. But that's literally like that's literally what I remember happened. But I'm not like sure if it actually did happen.
The Mediterranean world and beyond. It was centralized. One professional army, one legal system, and one powerful economy.
Yeah.
Rome's power was undisputed, but over time it weakened. The 3rd century saw all of this threatened by civil war, assassinations, and economic decline, until the empire was put back together. While it wasn't the end of Rome, the empire was changed forever. Power was now moving east, and eventually Christianity was adopted by the Roman leadership, which reshaped Roman society. In the late 4th century, the invasion of the Huns pushed...
I'm confused. Because he's like already talking about the Hun invasion, but like, that happened after the Roman Empire basically split apart, didn't it? Are we like skipping like a huge step of history where we had like, some nations basically forming? And, or are we like moving ourselves to like, the Khanates of like, central, basically Central Eurasia, pretty much.
Large groups of Germanic refugees to the rivers forming the Roman
border.
Leadership, which reshaped Roman society. In the late 4th century, the invasion of the Huns pushed large groups of Germanic refugees to the rivers forming...
That's like a completely different event. Because those are like the Huns that became the Hungarians, basically, I think, maybe. Or I'm not sure about that. Like, they're like, I don't think those are like the Huns that I think of. I think they might be like the different kind of Huns, They might be the Uralic people, maybe.
The Roman border. When it became clear that any deals made between Rome and the Visigoths were breaking down into violence, Rome had no choice but to recruit them as soldiers in exchange for land. When the Emperor Theodosius died, Rome was split in two to make it easier to manage.
Yeah, that's what I do now. You have the Western Roman Empire and then Eastern Roman Empire, which became Byzantium later. The Western Roman Empire was basically split up by Charlemagne later on. He's probably going to talk about that later on, I think. I'm not sure if I'm correct here.
But the West was not as wealthy as the East. Its leadership was divided and it faced more pressure.
Yeah.
In 410, the army was stretched thin and the city of Rome was sacked by the Visigoths.
Oh.
The first in 800 years. The city was no longer the capital, but it was a huge shock to everyone.
See, I'm gonna see like a bunch of those like tiny events I like never cared about, because like only thing I cared about in history classes was like, oh yeah, new country formed, map changed, law in the UK changed. I mean, actually no, law in England changed, because I don't know squats about the history of UK. They only told me like, oh yeah, here's England with Scotland, here's England with Scotland and Irish, here's United Kingdom. Whatever happened in between that, no idea. So yeah.
The Huns continued their push, and the migration of Germanic peoples into Roman territory followed.
I'm still not sure about the Huns here being like here, you know? I'm pretty confident that those might be just like, you know, tribes of like people. Maybe they just like historians just decided, yeah, by the way, you know how Mongolians existed, you know, and Hun people existed over there. We're just going to call all of those people that came here from, you know, that part of the world Huns, by the way. Yeah. So let's just do that.
With vital taxes and grain being lost, the Roman army couldn't be maintained anymore. In 451, the Huns were defeated, but power struggles eliminated any hope of restoring the empire in the west. Rome couldn't prevent a second plundering of the city in 455.
Bruh, literally, like, that's literally like 50 years later and boom, sacked again. That's bad.
This time by the Vandals. The final emperors became puppets of a Roman general of barbarian origin, who killed and replaced emperors as he saw fit. A few years later, in 476, a warlord named Odoacer marched to Ravenna and simply removed the final Roman emperor.
Oh, I know this guy.
A child, from office. Of course, it wasn't the end of Roman civilization. It still survived in the East and will play a major role in this story. But the fall of Western Rome marks the end of the ancient era and the beginning of the medieval.
Okay. We're learning. Okay, so we have early medieval age. Okay. Oh, barbarian Europe. So we're going to Germany now.
In the early medieval era is a dangerous place to be. The Roman system that had kept Europe stable.
Yeah, I like how we just replaced the Hun invasions with like, oh yes, you have Slavs here, you have these people which are, I'm not sure what those people are. Then you have the Finno-Ugric tribes over there in Finland, Baltic tribes over here, and Alans over here. I have no idea what Alans are, by the way. Like, oh, and you have Berbers over here. So, like, I understand what's going on here slightly, because I do know, like, these, except these guys in the Hungary, Romania region, basically. I have no idea who the hell they are, or who Alans are. Oh, and Celts over here in England. Oh, England, Scotland, and Ireland, UK, you know.
Stable and prosperous for centuries.
Also, you have nothing, basically, in what's like modern-day Galicia and northern Portugal.
Is gone. Cities have emptied. Trade has collapsed. There's nobody around to maintain roads and aqueducts. No standing army to protect people. Roman coins are worthless. And with no schools, people are forgetting how to read and write.
What does it say?
This is where the term Dark Ages becomes fairly accurate.
Yeah.
But if you really want to use the term, it should only be used to describe the early Middle Ages, not the whole medieval era.
Well, yeah, that is very true, because we literally, due to the fact that the Roman Empire literally imploded upon itself, we basically lost all of the know-how that, well, did I say Romania? I want to say Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire imploded upon itself. We lost literally all of the, you know, Roman Empire's know-how, and we lost how to literally all of the institutions that existed prior to that. So we had to like construct new institutions, and because of the fact that like people literally split, and because of the fact that Roman Empire wasn't literally wasn't a single language, single ethnicity state at any point, to be honest. Like there was a major language, but then there was like literally like minor tribes over here, like in freaking France, that had like their own dialects and their own language, literally. So yeah, so all of the knowledge literally was pretty much destroyed, I would say. Yeah, that's like the best way I can like explain this. It literally was destroyed. And then all of the knowledge might have stayed with like Eastern Roman Empire, I think, but they didn't have like the necessary development that the like that literally Rome had, and all of the like Italian peninsula literally had. I guess they had like Greek tech over there.
With Roman rule gone, it's free real estate in the western provinces. Former generals and Germanic tribes carve out their own kingdom.
Yeah, you have Franks, you have Burgundians, those are the French people. We have Visigoths on Ostrogoths. Visigoths are basically like the Spanish, I think. Whatever is going on in Spain, those are the people that is whatever is going on in Spain. And Ostrogoths are like the Austrians basically, and Vandals, I have no idea where they are from, but they might be in the northern part where you have the Anglo-Saxons maybe at some point. I'm not sure. Someone correct me in the comment section because I'm dumb.
Which sow the seeds of modern nations. Parts of Gaul are taken over by the Franks, which is where we get the name France. Their version of Latin becomes the Old French language. The Goths take Iberia and Italy. In
See, I'm going there. Oh, those are the Swabby people. Okay.
Britain, the Romans have packed up and left, so the Utes, Angles, and Saxons move in from across.
Oh, never mind. I guess I'm stupid, and Vandals are not here. Those are literally the Anglo-Saxons. Okay.
Across the North Sea. All of these new kingdoms are locally organized and independent.
Oh yeah, Vandals are the people that used to exist in like the Carthage basically, and Carthage and islands over here. that makes sense. Now that everything is making sense now. I completely forgot about this. This is like such a thing that you forget. Also, I like how you have this tiny bit of like Visigoth territory, not a part of anything. Those are the what do you call them nowadays? Oh, frick, I forgot. Those are the Basques, the Basque region over here, and that's where the Basque country is from. Like the idea of it, and the language, and the people, basically. So yeah, that's there, you know.
But no Roman law, they need something to hold them together. A code, a belief system.
Oh, divine right.
As Roman power faded in Western Europe, there was only one institution left to bridge the gap to the Roman world.
The Church and the Pope. Yep.
The Church. While other groups like the Vandals followed Arian Christianity, the Frankish king Clovis chose Roman Catholicism, which linked him directly to the authority of Rome. This was a good move. By partnering with the Church, Germanic kings learn how to rule like Romans, and more importantly, gain divine legitimacy. A blessing from the Pope means that a king's power is seen as a gift from God. It also gives them more power through knowledge. The Latin language is kept.
Okay. So that's smart. That's smart. Okay, great. We know that. Like, I like how he's explaining, like, he's going to explain the benefits of that, because, like, I was like, why did they choose Christianity? Oh, maybe because Pope was powerful. And that was literally the explanation. I literally thought of myself and realized maybe that's correct, maybe it's not. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if they teach you that in, like, I don't know, probably they don't teach you that in the US. Nobody, like, learns anything about, like, early medieval history. Like, much, I would say. They do teach a lot of, like, the ancient history in Poland that I do know. Because, like, my friends from Poland said, oh yeah, by the way, we learned everything from this part of history until like the start of 20th century, and then anything in the 20th century is completely unknown to us. I'm like, I see. Okay.
Alive in the church through the study of Roman text and administration, and so Latin becomes ingrained in education and religious service.
Yep.
But keep in mind that all of these Roman systems are still going strong in the East.
Yeah. I like how he's like, oh yes. By the way, in the East, they're doing fine.
All of these Roman systems are still going strong in the East.
Yeah, blaze it.
The eastern half of the Roman Empire not only survives, but thrives. In history books, Eastern Rome is commonly known as the Byzantine Empire.
Yes.
To distinguish the ancient Latin-speaking Rome from the medieval Greek-speaking Rome. We'll call it the Byzantine Empire from here on, just to keep things simple. In the 6th century, Byzantium's greatest emperor, Justinian, tries to reunify the former Roman territories in the west. In a destructive campaign, the Byzantine general Belisarius reconquers territory in North Africa, Spain, and Italy, including the Eternal City itself, Rome. But there's little cause for celebration because of
Hmm. I don't think that's going to go very well.
Volcanic eruption blocks out the sun, bringing crop failure and famine, and then a terrible plague spreads across the Mediterranean,
Did a volcano explode around that time, maybe? Huh.
killing millions. Under these conditions, these territories in the west are hard to manage, but the core of the Eastern Roman Empire remains strong. Over in Syria, the Byzantines are locked in an endless war with the Sassanid Persian Empire. By this point, however, they are exhausted in every way. While these great empires wear each other down, the Arabs are uniting under a new religion, Islam. Bursting out of Arabia, the Muslims crushed the Byzantines and Persians in battles across Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. The Persians,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
exhausted from their war with the Byzantines, are conquered by the Muslim forces. But the Byzantines hold out, fighting off 2 Arab sieges of Constantinople, using the medieval equivalent of a flamethrower. The worst has passed. Or has it? In 711, the Umayyad Caliphate conquers the kingdom of the Visigoths, but they fail to take the Christian stronghold of Asturias in the north. The Umayyads continue their push into central France to raid the land, but they are defeated in 732 at the Battle of Tours-Poitiers, a battle that very well may have stopped Islam spreading throughout the rest of Europe. The victorious Frankish leader, Charles the Hammer Martel, becomes the founder of the most influential dynasty of the early Middle Ages.
Well, Charlemagne, right? I think. I'm over here like looking. I'm like, yeah. Okay, great. And I'm like, is this the guy? This is Charlemagne.
The Carolingian success depends on 2 things: the church and conquest. The Franks were already seen as ideal Christians by the Pope, but their position gets even better. With the Byzantines distracted by the war in the east and Lombards threatening papal territory in Rome, Charles Martel's son Pepin takes control of the city. He then donates the territory to the Pope, the first step towards the establishment of the Papal States.
Oh, I know this. I know this from EU4. 5 now, actually.
This makes Pepin very popular. But soon a new Carolingian ruler will become even more popular, Pepin's son Charlemagne. After
Oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that I know of. Honestly, something funny about Charlemagne is that like every country has a different name for him. I think, like, can I think of the names? No, not really. I cannot think of the names. The only thing that I know is that every country has a different name for him in Europe, basically.
a brutal
Or like a version of his name.
30-year conquering spree, Charlemagne accomplishes
Man destroyed Saxons, Moors, Lombards, and Avars. Great. I have no idea. I know who Moors are, Saxons are, and Lombards. I have no idea about Avars. I don't know where they came from, actually.
something few thought possible, uniting Western Europe, bringing stability and security.
Yeah, so this is the European Union, so like circa medieval ages, basically, you know. Our Bulgarians. Now everything makes sense. Because you have Avars, you have Bulgars over here, and you had Avar Bulgarians as well around the same time, like a little bit later on, and now everything makes sense to me.
He even comes to the Pope's rescue when he's under attack. The Pope sees great things in Charlemagne, a loyal, strong ruler who can bring centralized rule back to Western Europe and unite all of Christendom. So on Christmas Day 800 AD, he crowns Charlemagne Emperor of the Romans. Charlemagne's rule is
and that's how Holy Roman Empire became a thing. Yes.
so successful that he kickstarts the first Renaissance of the Middle Ages, full of learning and monastic activity. But the dream of a united Christendom is just that, a dream. Charlemagne dies in 814, leading to civil war between his descendants.
Yeah, that's like which one becomes which?
The Treaty of Verdun splits the empire, and what remains will eventually become France and Germany. The division of the Carolingian Empire comes at a bad time. The Magyars attack from the east.
Those are the Hungarians, by the way. Yes.
Muslim Saracens raid the southern
Those are the North African Arabs, basically.
coasts, capturing thousands of slaves. And in the north, seafaring pirates from Scandinavia begin.
And those are the Vikings. We all know them. Those guys we do know. We've played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I believe. And they came from Norway all the way to England, by the way, sacking all of the stuff here, basically, pretty much.
Raiding the coasts and sailing up the rivers of Western kingdoms. The Viking Age has begun. The Norse-speaking pagans are expert navigators, traders, and shipbuilders who raid.
I mean, they are. This is like we should not underestimate them when he says that. Literally, those guys around the same time they managed to get to Iceland and maybe potentially around the same time to Canada. Like that is ages ago, which is insane.
Anywhere their ships can reach, but raids turn to full-scale conquest and settlement.
Oh.
Who raid
Another funny story, by the way. Those guys, Vikings, you know, the same people, they could literally go all the way down here to like the Middle East and plunder. they could literally go all the way to Middle East and plunder from Middle East, by the way. Like, that is like how good they were at literally traveling by boat and, well, plundering as well. Those are two different skills, but like, you know, that's a skill in itself. Getting all the way from Northern Europe to, I don't know, like Lebanon, basically, and, you know, plundering stuff from, you know, the Caliphate.
Reach. But raids turned to full-scale conquest and settlement in the mid-9th century, and they formed new states across Europe. Vikings sacked Paris settlement in the mid-9th
This is England, kind of.
Century, and they formed new states across.
This is whatever. Well, this is like the Russia, but not Russia, but Ukraine, but not Ukraine, basically. My explanation here. This is kind of like Russia, but not Russia, and this is kind of like Ukraine, but not Ukraine. Yeah. By the way, they had to pay tribute to Vikings. Either way. Oh, also you have Khazars over here now. They are from steppe. They came from the steppe, and they exist. They become. I'm not sure what they do become, but they will probably be slightly important later on.
Across Europe, Vikings sacked Paris twice. Eventually, the Franks make
bro,
across Europe.
Go back.
Vikings sacked Paris twice.
I love this. This is like the greatest timeline ever. Siege of Paris, 845. Oh yeah, you know that place, Paris. You know, yeah, we sacked it 40 years ago. Maybe they're rich again. Let's do the whole thing again. You know.
Eventually, the Franks make a deal with a faction of Vikings. They'll get their own territory in northern France as long as they convert to Christianity, protect French coasts, and become very French themselves. Normandy, named after the Northmen.
Oh, so that's how Normandy became a thing. Ah. So, see, right now I'm learning, kind of, because I never knew where the hell did Normandy pop up. Like from, oh, also England exists now.
Becomes a powerful duchy in its.
Well, quote unquote, England exists. It's very divided, but it kind of exists. There you go. Like this is like, you know, the guy here is keeping the story short, pretty much. Also, Wales should have some tribes existing that are like, you know, more of like, you know, more condensed than, you know, random villages out there in the Wales, basically.
Right. This becomes a pattern across the West, where.
When does like Poland come out on the map? Actually, I think we need to wait like maybe another like bit of time, basically, because that's like around the end of like this, like, you know, the early part, I think.
Things now depend on smaller local leaders to defend their realm, which brings us to.
Oh yeah, feudalism.
At their peak, the Romans could easily keep their empire secure with their massive professional standing army, but those days are gone. Small Germanic warbands aren't going to be able to defend their territories from enemies.
Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact. There's West Francia, there's East Francia, and then there's whatever the hell is going on in here, basically. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think this is going to probably like break up in like a couple of minutes of the video. But yeah, it was impressive that they managed to like have a France and Germany exist at the same time back then.
Raids launched by Vikings, Magyars, and Saracens are a reminder that there's still a major problem in Western Europe: defense. This leads to feudalism, a pyramid based on land and loyalties. At the top is the king.
Yeah.
His power is weak. He doesn't have a standing army, and the economy is weak and local. So he gives some land to a lord. The lord, in exchange, gives his loyalty. This lord is in charge of his local area and is responsible for its defense. But he needs warriors. This is where the knight comes in. The lord grants him a smaller territory in exchange for military service. A knight is a huge investment. His training lasts years. Not only that, but owning a horse is expensive and True.
Those horses, do not underestimate them. were very expensive. Oh.
A heavily armored one into battle is extremely risky.
Is if this guy, if if the person dies, no problem. We can get another one. Maybe slightly less trained, but we can get another one. If the horse dies, oh brother, how do we get another horse? Like, you need to raise it, you need to feed it, you need to, you know, actually train it. like training a person is one thing. Getting a horse going, I think that's like a completely different story back then, at least.
Knights become the medieval equivalent of the tank and prove to be very effective against
tank. Yeah, I'd say tank. Maybe. I think more so like a. Actually, yeah, tank. Tank sounds about right, honestly.
horse nomads from the east, like the Magyars. The knight relies on the labour of peasants to keep things running. These peasants are serfs, not slaves, but not completely free either. Serfs work the land for the knight, and in return, they have a place to live and protection. To provide some extra defence, the
Oh, I know this.
landscape changes with the rise of castles. In the early Middle Ages, they begin as simple wooden motte and
Yeah, Motte and Bailey castles. I remember those from history classes back in like primary school. No, that's ages ago, honestly. Actually, maybe it was middle school. I don't know. That was ages ago. I remember they told us to do a model of one of those, and I was like, okay, there, okay, this, that, and that, okay, a hill, okay, sure, and a little bit of water, yeah. I like how I don't know why we literally like stopped making those, but this is like the most castle thing ever, basically. Like, you have tiny hill over there. That's like where the castle goes. You have one way in to prevent invasion, and that's that. You have a bit of like farmland potentially inside, or like a barn for growing for animals or something, and then you have like a couple of houses for more important people, and then whatever the hell is going on outside is basically like the villages and the farms, pretty much. I think that's how it, like, from my understanding, that's how it used to work, maybe.
castles.
I mean, you could have like longer stretches of land, but then you have to make bigger moat. And to get a bigger moat, you have to get more manpower. And to get more manpower, you need more serfs. And to get more serfs, you need more prestige. And to do that, you already need a castle, by the way. So yeah.
But by the 10th century, they begin to evolve into bigger stone fortresses with
Those are the ones we know from fantasy, basically. Like, those are the ones I know from learning history.
castles. But by the 10th century, they begin to evolve into bigger stone fortresses.
And those are the ones that you guys know from movies.
Yeah. With thick walls. The castle becomes the ultimate symbol of power, a centre for local government to rule, collect taxes, and provide shelter during a siege. Things are looking more secure.
It also provides shelter during winter, because in some points in history, like when the winter comes in, yeah, you either have firewood or you die. So if there's like very huge shortages of like food or like firewood, basically, yeah, the Lord, if he's very merciful, he would say, okay, you come into the castle, you're gonna survive the winter, and next year you need to provide me more food, by the way. More. You need to work harder, but you're gonna survive, you know?
As we exit the early Middle Ages and head into the High Middle Ages.
Oh, here we go. We're home. I know this. We have Scots, Irish, Welsh, and English. And England at this moment in time, supposedly, I believe, it should not be disconnected, but it should be like slightly connected. It should exist. You have Norway, Sweden, Denmark, yep. You have the Balts that have like the tribes over there. You have the people over here that I have no idea what they're doing. The ones under the Kievan Rus. I don't know what they are doing. You have Bohemia, which is like Germans, but not really Germans, but Czechs. But like it's Bohemia is weird, honestly. You have Burgundy over here. You have Lyon, which is Spain, kind of, but not really. You have the Papal State, so yeah. Oh, you have France. What else do you have? You have Bulgaria. Those are the Avars that I talked about. They became Bulgaria, basically. You have Hungarians, and you have this red bit here, which I have no idea who it belongs to. And you have Poland, obviously. So yeah, and you have Holy Roman Empire, which is neither holy nor Roman nor a empire, by the way. So yes, I do have to like, I did have to say that because it's like the meme of the memes, you know, the history meme. And then you have also one of the caliphates that's probably going to disappear at some point and reappear at some point. And you have Cordoba, by the way. So that's like a Muslim territory of Spain at the time, you know. They're going to get kicked out at some point in the next, probably like throughout the video. This is going to be a long video with me randomly like stopping and chatting about stuff.
Stable and settled. Under the rule of the Umayyads, the Iberian Peninsula experiences a golden age of architecture and learning. In the rest of Europe, Christendom becomes a unifying force.
Yeah.
The Anglo-Saxon kingdoms have united to form Angleland, England. In Germany and other parts, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms have united to form Angleland.
Sexland.
England.
I love
in
this.
Germany and other parts of Central Europe, Charlemagne's legacy is kept alive in the Holy Roman Empire. The attacks from pagan peoples have also calmed down, as Vikings and Magyars settle and convert to Christianity.
Hungarians look like, bro, I'm tired of attacking you constantly. Yes, I will accept whatever the fuck your religion is. That's how this guy here looks, literally. And then Scandinavia is like, yeah, Vikings, ships, sword, yeah.
Over in Eastern Europe, the Piast dynasty rules over a united Christian Poland.
Yep.
While further east, the North Slavic realm known as the Kievan Rus becomes a massive centre of Orthodox Christianity.
Yes, it is. It does become that. This is like one of the, like, you know, the Christian split basically when it was happening, because Eastern Roman Empire was literally became the capital of Orthodoxy, and Papal State became the capital of Roman Catholic Church basically. So that they are the Catholics. And well, most of Europe, like from Lyon to basically Poland, is Catholic, and then whatever is going on next to Poland, which is given Rus, is Orthodox pretty much. And yeah, you have the East and Western Christianity split basically here going on. But yeah, it's a thing. It's not really. I'm not sure if it's really important. Like, I never heard of it being that important.
With a new alphabet borrowed from the Bulgarians.
Oh yeah, that's also true. I completely forgot about that.
Baltic peoples remain pagan, and will be some of the last in Europe to convert.
Wow, we progressed. We finally at the High Middle Ages, bro. It took us like 20 minutes probably to get there.
Now that we've moved into the High Middle Ages, things are looking up. The medieval warm period arrives, bringing better climate, which means more food can grow. Better tools are developed, which means more food can be produced.
We invent
this leads to
plow.
a booming population, which means demand for even more food. Forests are cleared to make space for farmland, new villages are founded, and towns begin to grow again after centuries of decline. Life for the typical peasant improves a bit, and it's good to look at things from their perspective for a moment, since 99% of people throughout history lived as peasants, the common workers. For them, life wasn't a constant stream of war and plague. It only seems that way because we're compressing 1,000 years into one video. Yeah, life was tough.
I mean, yeah, that is true.
But for most peasants, it was just quiet and simple.
For most peasants, it was, I wake up, I go to the farm, I get drunk, I go home, I sleep, I go to the farm, I wake up, I go to the farm, I get drunk, I sleep. And then you have the constant cycle of that, you know. At least that's how it looked in like Eastern Europe, pretty much. I'm not sure about, and maybe England as well.
Life revolved around their family, the harvest, and the village. That was their world. They didn't really know what was going on beyond that.
Actually, to be honest, that might be like slightly later on. At this point here, we don't really have that much alcohol, so probably it's going to be like, merciful ruler, Mr. Great Knight, maybe a half a barrel for the whole village, and we're gonna produce twice the crop. And then you can get drunk maybe like twice a year from that barrel, or someone steals the barrel and gets drunk, and the whole village basically punishes them for their crime, pretty much.
What they knew of history came from the Bible and from monks. What they knew about the world beyond came from anyone who might have travelled. In 1054, the Catholic Church...
We're gonna do the Crusades now. Is it? We are getting to do the, we go in, we take land. They come in, they take land. We come in, we take land again. Yeah.
Church in Rome and the Eastern Orthodox Church in Constantinople.
Oh, never mind. There's like the split between papal state and I do mean political split, by the way. So there's like, the Eastern Roman and the Western Roman empires being mad at each other, basically.
Split permanently. But the Catholic Church isn't concerned. They're about to experience the peak of their power, setting standards for rulers and peasants alike. The papacy begins to investigate anyone who goes against the Pope's word. The power of the Church over European rulers is challenged by the Holy Roman Emperor Henry IV, who goes to war over his desire to appoint new bishops. But the Pope is defended by an adventurous group of warriors, the Normans, the descendants of the Vikings who settled in northern France. When Duke William of Normandy invades England to assert his claim to the throne, the papacy gives his blessing, hoping to bring the English Church in line with Rome. William's rival, the Norwegian king Harald Hardrada, is killed in battle, which marks the end of the Viking Age. William goes on to defeat the
Battle of Hastings. I literally thought of that one. Literally, at the moment I heard the story, I was like, is he going to talk about the Battle of Hastings? Yes, he is.
Anglo-Saxon king Harold Godwinson, and England comes fully under Norman rule. This is how the English vocabulary becomes 30% French, and why some words sound fancier to use. Because of the
house, mansion, ask, request, think, consider, sheep, mouton, welcome, reception. Huh? The last one I'm like, okay.
Between the Anglo-Saxon peasants and the Norman elites. Some later kings of England speak French as their first language and barely spend any time in England at all.
Oh yeah, Richard the Lionheart. He's going to be important later on, probably.
The Normans go on to conquer Wales, Ireland, Sicily and southern Italy, all with the Pope's approval. With this, the Church begins to assert more influence over the warriors of Europe. And they do this by promoting chivalry, a code of conduct for knights which is all about protecting the weak and the Christian faith.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that chivalry. I thought chivalry came out of nowhere. I never knew that they literally, like, the church was like, oh yeah, we need to invent the thing so the knights don't go rogue, by the way.
Sets the stage for a new adventure involving Normans, known as
the Crusades.
In the late 11th century, after crushing defeats, most of Byzantine territory in Anatolia is conquered by the Seljuk Turks.
Oh, okay, so we have Turkey now. Also, Baltic states were decided to expand slightly over here from the map. You have the Taifas over here. You have more countries popping up from here. So that's... You have Leon growing also. I think that's like... You have Catalonia and... I don't know the green one, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea what this one is, but I know that this is like... whatever the hell is Catalonia... What is... Castile? No, Castile is somewhere else, maybe. What was the other one that was around here at the time? I forgot. I completely forgot. But this is whatever the hell Catalonia is. This is where they speak Catalan nowadays. Well, they're supposed to be speaking Catalan nowadays. They probably speak Spanish. Whatever. You have slightly bigger Hungary. You have this territory over here that is owned by nobody. You have Byzantium owning the southern Crimea for some reason. I don't know the reason. I don't remember the reason, by the way. And you have the Turkish people coming in from Central Asia, I believe. Because they did go from Central Asia through... Yeah, they went from Central Asia through the Iran, basically, to here. And decided to settle here and decided to wage a war with Byzantium, basically. And the caliphate still exists. I thought it was going to be disappearing. Wait, isn't this caliphate going to become the Mamluks Empire thingy from the EU5? I'm thinking right now. I think it might be. Yeah.
Muslim nomads from Central Asia. The Byzantine Emperor reluctantly asked the Catholic world for help, despite falling out with them. The Pope sees opportunity everywhere. If he sends help, the papacy can re-establish ties with the Eastern Church, and better yet, dominate it. In 1095, the Pope calls for a military campaign to the east, with a new...
Pope is like, big money, everybody. We gonna be making big money over here, you know?
new ultimate goal, the capture of Jerusalem from Muslim hands, and the protection of Christians living under Muslim rule. The Pope guarantees a place in heaven for all who join, peasant or noble. 4 years later, Jerusalem is captured by the Norman and Frankish Crusaders. The establishment of European Christian.
Okay, so you have the Crusader state here. So yeah. Oh yeah, you have. I forgot you had Armenians over here as well. I don't think I should be talking about whatever the hell is going on with, like... Actually, we are not there yet. That would be a more modern video. But yeah, you have Armenians here. They had to migrate somewhere else at some point. But they exist over here. Okay.
States in the Holy Land opens new opportunities for expansion and trade. And as a result, Crusader orders become wealthy and powerful.
Oh yeah, you have the Templars and the Knights Hospital. Yeah.
But the Crusades aren't aimed solely at the Islamic world. Overall, there are dozens of crusades, not only across the Holy Land, but Europe too, against the pagans of the Baltic land.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how the Teutonic Order gets a piece of land in what that would be like half of Kaliningrad and like some bits of Poland, basically.
And even other Christian groups who weren't fully in line with the church. In 1204, a rogue Crusader army sacks Constantinople and establishes a new Crusader state, severely weakening the Byzantine Empire.
I like how they... there's like... I mean, I don't like as in a positive way, but I find it funny how they decided, oh yeah, by the way, you know, this Constantinople... Oh, pardon me, I had hiccups. You know this Constantinople place, right? Yeah, we're gonna sack it because of big money. And they don't follow Christianity. They follow Orthodoxy. So we're gonna sack it either way and burn it. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
While not part of the Crusades, the
Oh yeah, Aragon. And this is Valencia, and then there's this Navarra. Okay.
Conquista is...
Thank the guy that made all of those maps. I'm happy seeing maps. I like maps, by the way. But yeah, I'm happy that you have the names.
Thought of as being similar in spirit. Small northern Christian states pushed south to retake Iberia from North African dynasties. While it's often simplified as a 700-year holy war between Christianity and Islam, it wasn't one continuous conflict, and in reality, Christian and Muslim states would often form alliances against common rivals, regardless
Yeah, that is very true for that area over there, basically.
of religion. But after Christian forces take control of major cities like Toledo, monks get to work translating the scientific works of the Moors. The rediscovery of ancient Greek, Roman, and New Arabic works contributes to a new intellectual age in Europe, an age of...
Okay.
A new renaissance is underway
So we have the Renaissance, we are learning. Great.
as the first university...
Wait, pause. Shouldn't the map change slightly here? Or are we literally in the same time period? I think. Maybe, okay.
These flourish in Bologna, Paris,
Yeah.
and Oxford.
Yeah, that is very much true. This is like, all of them literally were established around the same time.
The rediscovery of an old Eastern Roman law code attracts students from across Europe to Bologna University. Because Justinian's code was so massive and could only be analysed there, people had to specialise in its study, creating a new profession, lawyers. This legal obsession would eventually...
Lawyers exists. No way, chat. No way, we invented lawyers. Wow.
lead to the Magna Carta in England in 1215, where for the first time a king is forced to agree that he is beneath the law of the land.
Yeah. Magna Carta, greatest piece of history ever, probably, to be honest.
Not above it. This was a revolutionary concept. But aside from universities, monasteries hold a huge amount of influence when it comes to education and research.
Yep.
Originating with the Benedictine monks, Cluny Abbey leads a network of around 1,000 monasteries across Europe. This period also produces some of the most incredible works of architecture in history, using a new style we know as Gothic architecture, named because later critics thought it looked barbaric, like the
Oh. So that's why it's Gothic.
Goths. At the time, however, people simply called it modern or Frankish architecture. For the average peasant in the 12th century, these buildings are proof that God lives within them and inspires people to spend centuries on their construction.
I love the music here. It's actually like out of anime. It's actually like one of those, you know, you enter a big hall in a anime and you have like the villain of the whole series literally standing at the end of like the hall and you're like, bro, I have to fight that thing? Man.
While Western Europe is building upwards towards the heavens, Eastern Europe is about to get flattened. It's 1222, and the principalities of the Kievan Rus have
Oh, Sonic Order exists. Oh yeah, you have Kumans over here now. Progress. Oh, and you have the state of Georgia exists. Kind of. Not really, but kind of.
become divided and more or less independent.
Ah, so I thought we're gonna have like talk about some more that's going on, but no. So you know this thing. Wait, go back.
It's 1220.
So when okay, when Vikings decided to stop being Vikings and decided to become Christian, right? Kind of. The Kievan Rus that had to pay tribute to them stopped paying tribute to them and became a principality. And well, that's after like they adopted, Orthodox Christianity. And this is the moment when they split up.
And the principalities of the Kievan Rus have become divided and more.
There we go. And you have the big guys like Novgorod. What else there is? I'm pretty sure I only know of Novgorod as a like massive force in this. Smolensk did exist, I guess. Kiev did exist as well. Galicia also existed until it was invaded. Ryazan also existed, and then over there south of this is you have the Kumans until something comes in and says, no, Kumans, you no longer exist here. And it's probably going to be Golden Horde in like a couple of minutes.
More or less independent from one another. They don't exactly get along. To the southeast are the nomadic Cumans, who don't get along with them either.
Yeah.
The Khan of the Cumans rushes to the Prince of Kiev with a warning. A new group of nomads are pushing west. The princes of the Rus don't take the warning seriously until they hear
Cumans are like, bro, there is a massive amount of horses coming in. Trust me, you don't want to be dealing with that. Alliance, mate. Alliance. We're gonna be in danger. And then the guy is like, nah, I don't care.
that these new raiders have reached a river called the Kalka. So by the following year, they gathered their forces and with the Cumans marched to the river. But unfortunately for them, these are not the usual nomads they know. These are the Mongols. Like many other medieval Turkic nomads, the Mongols come from Central Asia. They were united by Genghis Khan in
the story of great Genghis Khan,
the early 13th century. Their method was simple: submit and live peacefully, or resist and be destroyed.
Basically that. You either pay tribute and do whatever you want and give women to Genghis Khan, or you get invaded and bad things happen.
Conquering China and Persia, Mongol generals come across the kingdom of Georgia. They defeat the Georgian force.
Oh. Alright, they went because they went two ways. Because they went the northern route, and they also went the southern route, because they did invade whatever was left of Persia at the time.
And pushed the Cumans further north, which is how we got to the current situation. Now at the Kalka River, the armies of the Rus and the Cumans are defeated by the Mongols.
Oh, so they did decide, bro, we need to fight together. And they did fight together, but in the end it was not like a force that was like, as massive as it was meant to be, basically.
The captured princes are crushed under a platform as the Mongols celebrate with a feast right on top of them. The Mongols don't return to Europe until 1237, under the leadership of Batu Khan, grandson of Genghis. By 1240, Kiev...
Yeah. Oh, that... You wonder why I only know of Novgorod. That's why, probably. But yeah, we have map change. England became bigger. So, as you may see, Wales was incorporated into England. Scotland still exists. England also has some places in Ireland, because Ireland decided we don't want to be together. We want to be split apart, basically. There was a lot of like smaller Irish states in Ireland, basically, at the time. France exists, Aragon exists, Castilla exists, Portugal became a thing, and there are still bits of land over here in southern Spain that need to be need to be reconquered, basically. What else there is? Is this the southern part of Spain is Andalusia, I believe that it was called, probably. Papal State exists, Holy Roman Empire still exists and is doing stuff. Don't know what's going on in southern southeastern Europe, basically. In Balkans, pretty much. Hungary and Poland exist. The Teutonic Order literally like invaded half of Balkans, or Baltics, I mean. Mameluke exists, and then you have a couple of Crusader states still roaming around, basically. Oh, and nothing is happening in, what do you call it, in Scandinavia, except the fact that Finland kind of exists, or it's under the management of Sweden, I guess. And then you have Mongols over here.
Was besieged and largely destroyed, and the rest of the Rus principalities fall to the Mongols.
Oh yeah, and you have Golden Horn now.
Northern cities like Novgorod survive only by paying massive taxes to what is now the largest land empire in human history.
Huge. They even had North Korea. Imagine that. Imagine someone owning North Korea nowadays. Impossible.
Poland and Hungary are smashed by the Mongols in battle, but are spared by the sudden withdrawal of the Mongols following news of the death of their leader back in Mongolia. In Anatolia, the Seljuks have been destroyed by the Mongols, leaving a mess of smaller Turkic states. One of these states is led by a warlord named Osman, but we know the name as Ottoman.
I thought the Ottoman Empire was named after the chair, the Ottoman, but apparently it was named after the guy. Okay.
For all the destruction they brought about, the Mongols ironically created one of the most peaceful and secure eras for international trade, known as the Pax Mongolica. By securing the Silk Road, trade routes across Asia become much safer. New inventions flow into Europe from Mongol-ruled China, like gunpowder, the compass, and printing.
Yeah.
With trade booming, maritime powers become extremely wealthy. The Hanseatic League unites Scandinavian merchants' interests at sea.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. By the way, they should like, you know, with the Holy Roman Empire, they should have like split up major players, or like maybe like more unusual players, like, you know, like Bohemia, basically. Literally Bohemia and maybe Savoy, Venice maybe. Yeah, Venice, I guess. Was Naples existed? Naples existed at the time? No, I'm not sure about that. But yeah.
While the republics of Venice and Genoa
He's going to talk about Venice and Genoa.
expand their maritime empire.
Fun fact, Genoa came from all the way here to the tip of Crimean Peninsula. Imagine that.
Around the Mediterranean. After the Crusades, the Italian states were rolling in cash, but with new links to the Mongol world through Crimea, they can expand further than before. They move goods like silk, spices, and grain across the continent, creating new classes of merchants and bankers. One of the most famous merchants of this period is
GG, we discovered money. We discovered capitalism, kind of. Also Marco Polo.
Venetian Marco Polo, whose journey to the Mongol court becomes one of the most famous stories in world history. To avoid carrying heavy gold through dangerous territories, Italian bankers developed bills of exchange, paper credit. All of this sows the seeds of a new economic model that is no longer reliant on land and peasant labor. Everyone should enjoy this while they can, because things are about to take a dark turn.
We're finally here, late Middle Ages, bro. I swear to God, if this video is going to take 1 hour, I'm a master yapper over here.
As we transition into the late Middle Ages, the prosperity and growth we've seen so far freezes.
Yeah.
Literally. The Little Ice Age.
Oh. I completely forgot about the Little Ice Age. I knew it existed, but I completely forgot about it.
It brings frozen conditions and torrential rain. This leads to the Great Famine, in which millions die of starvation across Europe.
Yeah.
The fate of Christendom also hangs in the balance. The last Crusader territory in the Holy Land has been conquered by the Mamluks. The papacy is forced to become a puppet of the French king, dividing the church for decades. Not only that, but France is about to become a battleground in the 100 Years' War against...
Oh yeah, I forgot about the 100 Years' War, about that. Like, he's banking on like the big events, literally, like, he's like, big event, big event, big event, big event. And I'm like, bro, pause.
England. But the greatest threat isn't...
Oh yeah, by the way, nothing changed. I wanted to say something changed on the map, but nothing did change here yet.
It's a tiny passenger on the very trade routes that made Europe wealthy.
The apocalypse.
You might remember the plague that killed millions during Justinian's reconquest of the Roman Empire. Well, the same bacteria returns to Europe in the 14th century, having
the bubonic plague
originated in Central Asia. Because of the Mongol control of trade routes from Asia to Europe, everything travels quickly. Gold, ideas, and disease. When Genoese ships leave the Crimean port of Kaffa, they bring flea-infested rats, carrying the plague to the rest of Europe. The Black Death sweeps through Europe's crowded...
Honestly, one of the biggest surprises when it comes to bubonic plague is the fact that Poland didn't even like get that many people killed during it. That's like one of the biggest surprises for me, at least. When I hear the history of bubonic plague, I'm like, oh yeah, a lot of people died in here, everywhere. And Poland is like, what do you mean? Literally, like, barely anybody died, and it literally came in very late.
Unsanitary
How did they manage to do that?
cities. Between 1/3 and a half of the population of Europe and Asia is wiped out in just a few years. It is the worst pandemic in human history, leaving towns and farmland empty. However, this horrifying pandemic has a strange side effect. With fewer people left to work the land, the surviving peasants realize they are suddenly in high demand. They begin to demand higher wages.
Peasants discovered that they need workers' rights, you know?
And the end of serfdom. But the elites still don't budge. In England, this results in a bloody uprising. The old social
Oh yeah, Peasant Revolt of 1381. I know this one.
order is dying. After the sheer horror of the
Oh, is this the part where we get like the Protestant church, right? I think so.
Black Death and the ordeal with the Avignon papacy, the Catholic Church experiences a breakdown known as the Western Schism, with several popes simultaneously claiming legitimacy and protesting
Oh, that also happened. I do know about that one, yeah.
French influence. The unity of Christendom is breaking. This division inspires reformers like Jan Hus to emerge in Bohemia, arguing that the Bible, not the Pope, is the ultimate authority. Hus is burned at the stake in 1415, but his followers, the Hussites, launch a series of wars that act as a warning shot for the future Protestant Reformation.
Yep.
The Ottomans become the dominant force in the Balkans following their 1389 victory.
Oh yeah, welcome to the new map, by the way. So, you see, now the map is incorrect, by the way. I think, at least, because you shouldn't have Poland, Lithuania with Teutonic Order mostly existing and without the Lithuania part, basically. Or I'm like mistaken, maybe. So what we have here, we have the Granada in Spain, and you have like the usual guys, you know, Portugal, Castilla, and Aragon over there. You have the Papal State existing, you have the Holy Roman Empire, you have the France with parts of France being owned by England, most notably like the northern part with Calais, and bits and bobs over here with like Bordeaux and stuff like that. Scots still exist, Ireland is slightly less, well, exists somewhat, not really, but it's still broken up, so whatever. Byzantium Empire literally is gone. Oh, not literally is gone, pretty much is gone. You have Kosovo, Babel of Kosovo. Kosovo didn't exist back then, whatever. You have the Ottoman Empire existing. You have bits and pieces left over everywhere, basically. You have Mamluks, you have a bunch of countries in the Maghreb right now. You have, most notably, you have existence of Morocco, I think, which is not here yet, maybe. You have the Timurids, which are Persians but different, kind of. You have the Golden Horde. You have the bunch of vassals over here. So there's a bunch of like, you know, bunch of like those states that you've seen previously when they split up. They exist as vassals over here. Then you have Novgorod. Yeah.
Victory in Kosovo. As
actually, go back. Most notably, you have Muscovy somewhere there, I believe, and that's it.
Balkans following their 1389 victory in Kosovo. As the Ottomans tightened their grip over their new territories, they demand the young sons of subject Christian families, raising them as elite slave soldiers called janissaries.
Oh, I watched videos about those guys. Those guys, like, you don't fuck about with them. You don't mess around with them. They are strong.
In a final desperate attempt to reclaim influence over Christendom's warrior class, the church calls for...
I like how we just like literally moments later, a guy literally changed the name of the map on the map to like Grand Duchy of Muscovy, which is also incorrect because it was more split up around the time of whatever the hell is happening here. But okay.
Some of the last crusades pushed back the Ottomans, which end in crusader defeat. In the Baltic, the Teutonic Knights are dealt a crushing defeat at the Battle of Grunwald by...
Oh yeah, 1410, Battle of Grunwald. I know this one. The only thing I know about this one is the name and the fact it happened in 1410. I don't know the details. Oh, I know some details. One of the details that I do know it was that one of the battles literally happened drunk, but that is not the Battle of Grunwald. That was one of the other battles that happened previously. Literally, like the Polish army got drunk, and then the Crusaders did invade. And a couple of days later, the Polish army had like after hangover reorganized and they fought back
The
basically.
united
That's like one of the battles that happened.
Poland-Lithuania, now the largest and most powerful state in Eastern Europe. Meanwhile, in the aftermath of Mongol rule, the Grand Duchy of Moscow begins a climb to an eventual Russian tsardom. The Black Death has already weakened the feudal system, but the 100 Years' War effectively kills it, along with the idea of the chivalric knight. The rise of the longbow allows commoners to eliminate armoured nobles from a distance.
That is actually insane, yeah. Once you get like range weapons, everybody can die basically. Like there's no, you are far superior or anything like that. Like especially with longbows, like that thing. If you have like a decent arrow and decent amount of strength, and the bow is actually decent, you could pierce through the helmets that they wore at the time, or like you could literally pierce through the chainmail armor they had, because it was very like chainmail armor was very thin. Literally, like you had plates, and you had plated, and then underneath you had chainmail, basically, right? So if you pierce through like the very thin plate, and then you manage to get through the chainmail, yeah, you're as good as dead, basically.
While over time, gunpowder renders the knight's armor and castle walls
Oh, and this is how the plate, like fully plated armor, is gone, basically.
useless. The idea of fighting for a local lord begins to get old as Joan of Arc inspires French peasants to fight for France as a nation. The king no longer wants to rely on local lords and mercenaries, so he seeks to centralize his power, including the military. The solution is a permanent standing army paid using state taxes. The first in Western.
Okay, my guess was this King Charles the Second or the Fourth of France, maybe? I don't know the guy. I think I know it was his name was Charles. I don't know which one though. I don't know if it was the second or the fourth, And somebody in the like comment section is going to saying, yeah, by the way, I actually managed to get to the point here while you were yapping, and actually it was Charles the Fifth or something, I have no idea. Like, but I think it was that guy or the guy after him, maybe.
Since the ancient Roman army.
Because I know that Charles something was at the same time as the what do you call her, Joan d'Arc.
The dream of taking Constantinople had been on the mind of Islamic armies for centuries, and Sultan Mehmed II was determined to fulfill it. After a month of bombardment with the world's largest cannon, the Ottomans breached the walls and conquered the city of Constantinople.
Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't talk much in detail about like certain parts of the Crusades, because like there were very like quite few historical figures during some of the Crusades that were like pretty important. Like what was his name? I need to check. Give me a moment. I'm gonna yap about stuff while I check on my phone. Was the guy from the Ottoman Empire that was like very impressive at the time? Okay. if I'm gonna ask Google the question of notable figures from Ottoman Empire during Crusades, am I going to get the guy's name? Yeah. Okay, let's see. No, I did not get the guy's name. Bruh. I did not get the guy's name. Impossible. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking. Give me a moment. Oh, I know now. There was the the Saladin, that guy. That guy, yeah. So he was actually like he existed during Crusades. He wasn't okay. I think I might have mistaken him for being part of the Ottoman Empire at the time. He was maybe not part of the Ottoman Empire, maybe something different force. But yeah, Saladin existed. He was like a massive massive guy at the time of the Crusades. Like he was literally like what was very interesting because he was like, you know, there's the story of King Richard the Lionheart literally like getting sick in the like before battles, right? And Saladin was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight a weak man, no. And then he sent like a bunch of like, you know, food and like, you know, stuff so he could, so Richard the Lionheart could like, you know, get better and do like proper battles, you know. And that was like impressive in my opinion because like mad respect, you know, mad respect.
2,600 years of Roman civilization.
The fall of Constantinople, we're here. I thought like the video would be talking about like, you know, some stuff, some other stuff, but no, we are already there. We are at the fall of Constantinople. Also, I wish this video was like 1 hour long because he could put so much more detail and so much more maps as well. Like that would be insane. For a video that has not used any AI whatsoever, I'm like so impressed, literally.
Has come to an end. This was an unthinkable tragedy for Christendom. As the city falls, scholars flee west into Italy, carrying Greek and Roman manuscripts, which had been unavailable to Westerners for centuries. People are rediscovering classical techniques and artwork. For those who want to...
No more gatekeeping. No more Eastern Roman Empire gatekeeping stuff. Now you have to teach them again.
Pursue new artistic and scientific works. The Italian city-states have plenty of money to sponsor them. This contributes to the Italian Renaissance. With the invention of the printing press in Germany...
Oh yeah, Gutenberg. I know this guy from that one anime about books.
Ideas can spread faster than ever before and be accessed by anyone. This is great news if...
Actually, wait, no, I know him from 2 animes. One about making the books and one about religion and space.
If you want to read literature, science, or 95 reasons why the Catholic Church is corrupt. In 1492, Aragon and Castile finished a centuries-long Reconquista.
Yeah, they finally did it. They managed to finish the Reconquista. They managed to remove Granada from the map. Great, good job. By the way, is this Basque or is this Navarra? It's like this little bit of like the land over here right now. I'm not sure, but great. Aragon and Castile exist.
They expel Jews and Muslims and unite to form a powerful new state.
Wow, Spain exists. We did, guys. After 23 minutes of the video, they managed to like, you know, get together and become Spain. Wait a minute. Didn't like a Romania something like a Romanian kind of state exist around the time over here? I feel like this map is very vague because it's not showing any of the well, it generalizes Holy Roman Empire, but like it doesn't show any of the subjects or like, you know, the vassal states and stuff like that. Because for Poland, for example, quite a lot of like the land here was, I'm not sure if it was vassal states, but like Moldova, as a, like, you know, the Moldova, the country that kind of existed, but like it's not on the map here, was never incorporated into Poland, Lithuania properly. It was mostly as a vassal state, like tributary, basically. Huh. Maybe I'm stupid. But yeah, that's like one of the things that I can see here. Whatever, you know, whatever. Nobody cares. I'm just nerd, you know. But yeah, you have Spain existing.
Spain. With the Ottomans now blocking the Mediterranean routes to the east, an Italian sailor named Christopher Columbus has a plan to sail west to reach India on the other side of the globe.
Man is like, yeah, we cannot get through here because Ottoman Empire happened and they don't want to trade with us. So I'm gonna go there that way, and I'm gonna get spices from India straight. Straight. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm gonna get it from straight over there, you know.
The small world of the village peasant is gone. We've now crossed into the world of scientific discovery and global empire, the early modern period.
Right, this was actually like very educational. And the guy has another video about the whole of early modern history. We're gonna be watching that. I swear, we are going to be watching that one, you know? Okay, but there's literally a video about Valve, and there's like a tiny video here, there. But like, whatever. This video, impressive. No AI, no nothing. Like, very educational. Like, I mean, very brief in a sense, because like, he couldn't go into as much detail as I would like probably him to go into, because it's not a full-blown documentary, obviously. But like, as a generic idea of what happened around the time, this is a very good video, very nicely done. And I could say that it was like very educational for like certain parts, and maybe like not enough in detail for other parts. Like for example, like the Crusades, they went literally like boom, Crusades happened here, and gone. And like I thought he would go into more detail on the Crusades at least. But yeah, honestly, like this guy could literally do a video on like I feel like he could literally make tons of like, you know, the entire history of Crusades, or entire history of like, you know, Eastern Roman Empire, or entire history of something like more like of Reconquista, you know. He could make so many videos in this style, and I would eat that up, literally. I would be eating that up. And so yeah, I'm probably gonna be reacting to his entire history of early modern Europe as well. And oh, I wonder if he's going to do something very similar for like Asia, or like, you know, Middle East maybe. Like maybe he specializes in Europe, which is possible. But I would love to see like this type of video for like, you know, Asian history, which is probably harder, much harder, because like when you have like those maps, yeah, you would need to be drawing a lot, because like Asian maps are like insane when it comes to like stuff at that time, especially. But yeah, I love this video. I don't know how long it. Bro, we're 1 hour over. I've been yapping for freaking 1 hour, brother. This is insane. I hope somebody watches this video. I hope nobody is scared that I turned like 23-minute video into bloody 1 hour. Bro. But yeah, this was a great video. If I could like leave a like twice, I would. Link to this video is in the description, by the way. You need to check it out yourself, because with me yapping, you might have learned something. I hope so, at least. But with me yapping, you also didn't like watch it like, you know, with as much of a, I would say, concentration as you would normally, or like you wouldn't listen with as much enjoyment as you would normally, probably. So I do have to say that. Well, yeah, subscribe to this guy. Honestly, subscribe to this guy if you love history, because those videos are great. Like, I would like, even if I wasn't reacting, I would go out of my way and watch the video itself, because like the thumbnail is very catching, and the concept of the video is very interesting as well, in my opinion. So great video, honestly. Like, I would love to see more from this guy. And yeah, if you enjoyed my video, you can, you know, you can leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see from me any other time. And obviously, you know, goodbye.